Yeah, wish is Stephanie. I want to do that again, only let you see this. I love this building. I'm in Guangzhou, China, which is the heart of Canton, if you know Cantonese food, Cantonese culture. I'm now dizzy from doing that twice. That's where I am for a day. We're actually leaving tonight, airplane permitting. And there's a parallel between the creative process in general and language learning specifically that I'd like to make while I'm in this really, really randomly pretty park. I was looking for a coffee shop because it was raining, as you can kind of see by the petals on the ground, and so I was like, okay, today's an inside day, so either museum, mall, coffee shop. I still have some flashcards to do, blah blah blah. And it stopped raining while I was looking for a coffee shop, so I'm going to walk around this park a little bit and chat with you. So, oh, there's a path here. It's going to be gooey, but I'm doing it. So, I'm listening to Big Magic, a book from Elizabeth Gilbert. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And I love Elizabeth Gilbert's TED Talk on creativity. I think it is one of the best realistic, what a cool park this is, one of the best, most realistic and yet inspiring things that I've heard people say about the creative process. And yet, the book, Big Magic, it feels like somebody said, hey, that's a great talk, let's expand that out. And so she did, and there's a little bit missing. I mean, it is fleshed out more. The ideas in the TED Talk are fleshed out more for sure. I mean, that was the point of the book, I think. I think that's the order that the projects went, but I'm not sure. I'm just making an assumption. But it doesn't quite have the same rhythm and the same cathartic effect on me as it did during the 15-minute TED Talk. There's these really interesting structures here. I want to show you one of these right now, like this guy here. They're all over the park. It's awesome. I'm sure they have a historical significance. That's just not my thing. Oh, I really want to sit on this rock. Can I sit on this rock? Oh, it's going to be gooey. Oh, it's gooey. Okay. So anyway, so what was I saying? Creativity. So I don't know that I would recommend this book, but it's super short. I think in hours, in audiobook hours time, I think it's 6 or 8 hours. Something very, very short for an audiobook. And I think there's 6 chapters actually. There's 6 chapters if you're reading the paper book. And so she goes into more stories of people and their creative process and mistakes that people make, and the horrible, horrible thing that we do where we say, I want to be creative, I'm going to quit my practical life and let creativity take care of me, and what a mistake that is. And so I appreciate her practicality. Because I also have quit my day job to try to pursue creative things, and it didn't work, which is exactly why I'm not doing that now. Because I may have done that more than once, but I'm not going to count, because that feels like it's inviting why Stephanie sucks kind of moments. And I don't feel like that right now, because I feel like I'm in a pretty cool place physically and otherwise. But what I want to talk about, I found this cute little seat. I'm going to sit in here. I've been walking around a lot today. So, and I don't have my mosquito repellent with me, so I could very well leave with a lot of gifts from this place. Alright, so what was I saying? Creativity. I feel like when it comes to, and this does tie into language learning, but with creativity, with the projects to get meta, this YouTube channel and my 2 podcasts, I feel like, as with the blogs that I used to, the travel blogs I used to do, and things like that, and even when I tried to be a travel writer, I didn't work out too well. I feel like with all of my projects, I am more of a person who does stuff and gets it out into the world, then perfects it, and then tries to find a place for it. And I know people who are on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, where they will, just got dripped on, where they will polish and polish and polish and possibly never put it out into the world. And for me, sharing is the most important part. So I think I send stuff into the world probably way before it's ready, as opposed to some folks who never get their ideas out because they're perfecting it so much. And then there's a lot of people in between that do varying versions of that extreme. So I feel like there's similar camps of people in language learning. I feel like there are people who just get, not without effort, okay, but I feel like there are people who get languages, they absorb them a lot faster, they can produce them a lot sooner, and unlike my production of anything thought-wise and creative-wise that comes out of me, analytical-wise, okay fine, that stuff comes instantly and I have the urge to get it out into the world. With languages, I'm on the complete other side. It's not that I'm on the side where I want to perfect it, it's just it takes me a really, really long time to feel the urge to use it, or to feel that I can use it. I'm starting to type a little bit in Chinese on Instagram and Twitter, and a little bit on WeChat too with some friends of mine who are functional in the language. And I know how much I'm doing it wrong because I'm directly translating the words in English into Chinese, and the word order is significantly, it's not opposite, that was a really bad hand gesture, but it's very different. But I'm the kind of person that just wants the information to go out, and I'm so happy that these people aren't correcting me yet, because for me it's kind of exciting to know that I've got at least not the language structure yet, but I've got the language to make full sentences. Very basic sentences. I think yesterday I said something like, I can write Chinese. I think I wrote that in Chinese to get equally meta, right? Oh, I think the mosquitoes have started. Anyway, this will be a short video. So I feel like within language learning and output of language learning, I feel like I'm on the complete other side. With creativity and ideas in English anyway, although some of them do come in images, I feel like I'm an instant sharer. If you're on my Instagram, you'll notice when I'm inspired and have really cool things happening around me, I am posting way too much. And when I'm not, I'm not. But it's an instant thing where I feel like I have to share, I have to create, I have to analyze. If an idea comes to me, it needs to be shared instantly. And in language learning, I'm just not that person. Do you notice this in people that you meet that are studying languages, that they either need quite a bit of time to process and then finally produce the language, or people who just start producing instantly? This may tie into the introvert-extrovert video that I did recently. Actually, I think that was yesterday. I was supposed to tell you the date early on in the video. That requires me to know the date. I know it's Wednesday. Okay, so the 10th was Sunday, Monday is the 11th, Tuesday is the 12th. It must be Wednesday the 13th of June, 2018. Look, I'm on a mini break. I don't need to know the date, but I do because I promised you I would give you an indication of chronology in these videos. Anyway, so if you've noticed those kinds of things, or if you feel like you fit into one of those two camps or a camp in between, please share it down in the feedback below. I'd love to hear where you fit into that, or if you've noticed those trends or other trends. And more so, it's a little confusing me that creativity-wise, I jump on expressing myself instantly, but language-wise, I'm very much of a wallflower. And that contradiction, if it isn't even a contradiction, is rather interesting to me. Is that common? Or is this one of my blocks stopping something, and I naturally am someone who would share immediately if I were different in one of the pillars of things that are holding me back? I don't know. Your thoughts are greatly appreciated. Should I do one more roundabout of this beautiful, beautiful park? I think I might. Let's see. Again, this is just some random park in Guangzhou. It's near the Zhujiang New Town. I just walked from the K11 mall actually out to the other mall across the street from it and came here. I'm obviously saying all of this because I don't know the name of the mall that I walked through to get here. But it's pretty big and it's pretty beautiful. Anyway, thank you so much, and more soon. Sachin.